There's that familiar song. I hear it. I whistle it. I hum it. I was humming it tonight. My husband said, I know that song. I said, yes, you know that song well, because it is time for Craft Roulette, episode 270. Welcome. Come on in. Sit down, relax. We're going to have a good night tonight. I am Mary Gunn of Mary Gunn Fun, your intrepid host of Craft Roulette, where you are right now. If you are joining us because you were here last week because we had the delightful evening with Amanda and Kelly, welcome back. We're glad to have you. If you are here because you're a Karen Burniston fan and you know Sue Small-Kreider because she's on the design team and you want to see her in action, we're glad to have you too. She is ready. If you know Sue, you know she's ready. She's been planning and sorting and collating and probably making triplicates of everything, but she's a delightful gal and we're really looking forward to having her on the live show. We're going to talk more about her in just a few minutes when we bring her on, but if this is your first time, please jump in the Chatterbox. It's the friendliest group in the Crafterverse and they will welcome you very warmly and answer your questions. They're very smart. A bunch of you are here every week, aren't you? If you are here every week, almost every week, just as like I am almost here every week, please give us a heart so they know that you're here and that you're a friendly group. Would you mind that? And also, if you wouldn't mind giving us a video, we'll remind you here in just a second. If you enjoyed that slideshow, well, I enjoyed that slideshow. I know that for a very, very strong fact. It sure was a cloudy day this week on Craft Roulette, but wow, those were the prettiest clouds I think I have ever seen. We had pink clouds and we had golden clouds, we had blue clouds, we had black clouds on top of clouds. We had so many wonderful things. And Sue was saying, my gosh, there's a lot of square cards this week. And then I kind of went, oh yeah, because we have square cards this week. So, but what fun to shake up card shapes and card sizes. We do it all here, but none of them are too hard. We make it sure that you can join us because this is a challenge, but well done. Everybody who contributed those 424 cards. That's a big number of cards, and I'm really, really proud to be able to have that many in our gallery. We had 9 videos. I watched them all. I liked them all. Sue's a big video maker for Craft Roulette, and her cards need a video because they're always like, you open them up and go, I have no idea. I need to see her in action. But I watched them all. I think you guys do a great job. I really love that you're jumping in and making some videos. And that community is all building too. It's great. Let's pull the curtain back on the hand of the man. The man. There's the hand of the man who, there he is, that programs everything, runs all the buttons, does all the things. And we have a big announcement tonight, don't we, Mr. Producer?
What?
We have a big announcement.
Okay.
Paper Ganza.
Oh, yeah.
It's sold out. It's sold out. You guys are jumping in. You just jumped right in and filled all of our seats for Paper Ganza, which is our Craft Roulette live event in July. And it's going to be wonderful. And I'm just like, whoa, you guys don't even know what we're going to do, really. And you're just joining us, and it's so cool. Thank you so much. We will be doing a live presentation of the show from the live event, kind of a live thing. And it doesn't, if it's a double live, it doesn't make it a negative. I know that much about math. But, so join us. It's going to be fun. If you're not in the room, make sure you're in this room so that you can join us in the Chatterbox room. I also have one other big announcement.
Oh, yeah?
I have a new grandson.
Ooh.
So there's more reason to eat chocolate. Not only when I say JD, do you eat chocolate? You're going to have to think of the new sub game or join in on chocolate for this little guy too. His name is Luke David, and he's adorable. He's teeny. LD and JD, and he is adorable. He is going to be as blonde and blonde as JD is dark-headed. So they are going to be opposites in many ways, but they're going to be best buds in other ways. We spent the afternoon together, and it was just very, very cute. But he's teeny tiny. He's 2 weeks old, and we're really, really glad to have him. And congratulations to Matt and Leah. We're very glad for them. If you have not given us a Vinny for little JD and LD, we'd appreciate it. Those are what we call thumbs up. And subscribe and hit the notification. I think Mr. Producer tagged a link at the top of the chat to go over to Sue's YouTube channel.
Yes,
and
our goal is
subscribe.
to get Sue's numbers up. It started at 266, so we want to get Sue's subscriber numbers up. I'll leave that pinned to the top of the chat.
We can do it.
You'll want to be there. She's very, very talented.
If you have any questions about interactive cards and those fancy dies, she makes it happen. She makes it look easy, and you will enjoy watching her. And she's just real pleasant, real sweet woman. And she's got a very pleasant voice. I've got my high squeaky voice, and she's got a very pleasant voice, so you will enjoy that as well. What's next? Spin sponsors. We have new sponsors this month. We would like to welcome some familiar friends. Yeah, now who's got the buttons? It wasn't me. Anyway, we do have some new familiar spin sponsors returning. We'd like to say happy birthday to Trinity Stamps, celebrating their 6th birthday with us this month. They will be giving away a gift certificate each week. Karen Burniston is giving away 3 gift certificates this week. The rest of the month, it will be 1 gift certificate. And pajama crafter stamps. Oh, dang it. Anyway, Pajama Crafter Stamps is joining us as well. She is a nice lady. She was on the show a couple months ago, probably a year ago. I have no idea. Her name's Joy. She's making some darling little stamps. There's even a potato chip, I believe, floating around her Crafterverse. So check out those wonderful, wonderful sponsors that give away prizes here on Craft Roulette. You can find them all with affiliate links and discounts on craftroulette.live/sponsors. That's all I got for that, I think. We are not supported by those wonderful companies, even though they're very kind and send me stuff every once in a while. We have a membership group that we depend on for our financial help, and you can find out more information about that on craftroulette.live/support. But let me get a few things out about this. We'd like to welcome Rochelle Laird-Smith. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We appreciate your support. And I'm going to read off half of our Craft Roulette card exchange June birthdays, because we've got over 20. And so I'm just going to talk about half of them here. Happy birthday. I'll do the other half next week. Happy birthday, Gwen Simmons, Catherine Taylor, Kathy Baker, Kristen Materano, the author of The Komodo Effect, Lisa Welbley, congratulations and happy birthday on hitting the new one. Markella Beamer, well done. Our sweet friend Maury Clark, happy birthday, girl. Makira has been hit by a plague of difficulties lately with broken bones and different things. Makira, happy birthday. Don't break anything. Robin Alexander, so nice to say happy birthday to you. Sire Anderson, our buddy Sire, is having a birthday. And Shanna Thomason plus Stephanie Tucker. Oh, we will be sending out cards all over the world to say happy birthday to these nice, nice people. I have my cards started. I have my envelope started, and pretty soon I will start stuffing them with those cards. So I know it's fun, isn't it? We did have a lot, though, this month. It was unusual. June is a big month for birthdays and weddings, I think. So anyway, that's that. What do we have after that? Oh, I didn't change his clothes. I have had a busy week. Have you guys had a busy week? I don't know about anybody else, but I thought it was this lazy, hazy, crazy days of summer, but not around here. The little Mr. Mike's looking pretty dapper. Anyway, this was a new outfit. He wanted to wear it a couple times, so he's wearing it. It was, I think it looks darn good on him. We do have some merch. We've got some lovely togs if you'd like to freshen your summer wardrobe. And we also have some, we have stamps and dies, and Sue uses them all the time. We'll have to ask her secrets on fitting those wonderful stamps and dies in her projects. And we also have some official collab. So check it out over on craftroulette.live/shop. Is there anything else I missed? I don't think so. Now, from sunny Florida, please kindly welcome Sue Small-Kreider from Yuli Cat Designs. I got her name and the website right, I think. Yay! Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
You have done multiple parts of the show. You have been on the member show as a guest, I believe, haven't you?
No.
Is
No, I
that
haven't
right?
done the
Well,
member show.
I need to get you there. And then, but you were also on the community showcase,
Mhm.
which is when we showcase some of the process video makers for Craft Roulette.
Right.
And that was just in January.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And you lived through that one.
Yeah, I made it
Yeah.
through that one.
And you watch
So-
every Friday night almost with your husband.
Pretty much. And sometimes if we have visitors, they watch too.
That's my kind of girl.
So there's
Well,
a couple out there I'm hoping tonight are watching.
I bet they are. I bet they're just cheering you on too. Can't you hear the clapping in the distance? That's not
Maybe.
thunder. That's applause. Well, tell us in a nutshell who you are and what you do. I know you have a vast history of card making. So,
Well, I've been making cards literally since I was old enough to walk. My family always made their own Christmas cards, and my earliest memory is walking between my father, who was at the silk screen press printing the cards, and I was walking them over to my mother, who was putting them on a drying rack or a clothesline kind of thing. But I've literally, like I said, I've been making cards. By the time I was probably about 9 or 10, I was allowed to design one year's Christmas card for silk screening. And then we got a printing press, which meant, there was so much more we could do because it didn't take as long as the silk screening process. But if you think about a printing press, it's kind of like this, like a rubber stamp, only it's made out of metal.
yeah.
And it's somehow adhered to a block of wood.
Right.
So I always think of them as metal stamps, but the correct terminology is a cut.
Right.
And my father somehow bought up a bunch of vintage Christmas cuts. So we had lots of fun stuff that we could figure out how to make cards with. And then he let us design some, and he got them made into a cut.
Wow.
And then I decided by the time I was high school, college, well, why don't we do some three-dimensional things, fold-up things, pop-ups? And things got interesting after that.
I should say, and you're still popping things up and making things three-dimensional.
When I found Karen Burniston's products, I was like, oh, these are fun. And I wish my dad had been alive by the time I found them, because he would have adored them. So,
Yeah. Well, stamps are a little bit easier than cuts. You have to put a lot of pressure on those things. Are they kind of like letterpress? Kind of?
they're kind of like letterpress. Technically the printing press we had was called a letterpress. It could do some similar things to what the modern day, like Spellbinders, Better Press, and some of the other companies that have the letterpress plates. It's just they're mounted on woods.
Do you still have the printing press?
No. When my parents both passed, none of my siblings nor I had the space or the wherewithal to take it on. So it got sold to what we always refer to as an artisan printer. Someone who would appreciate what we had and wouldn't melt down everything for scrap metal.
Or burn it for
wood.
Yeah.
So someplace out there are all of the cuts that I designed way back.
Wow.
So my stuff is still out there.
If you're watching, please contact Sue. I'm sure
and you're
she
in
would
the
love to.
And you're in the Midwest. All I know is
it's going to be a new detective game.
Somebody in a state that starts with an I. I just don't know where.
Oh, is that right? Well, that narrows it down.
Yeah, it's within a certain range. So, but
interesting.
It would be fun to see. I don't know that all of mine were signed, though. I think there's only about 1 or 2 that were signed. Everything else was kind of anonymous.
Well, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, crafters and craftette, This is interesting, isn't it? She's most interesting. So sit back and relax. But I want to make sure that you are set. This is your first time on the show.
Right.
I know you've watched it. You probably know everything about it, but do you really know?
Well, my husband, will be watching eventually, and he always asks me about this point in time. What's craft roulette?
We should have had him present to do his own bidding, but we're glad that he always asks.
Oh, I know. Yeah, he always
That's so
asks,
cute.
and I know he'll probably be given a whoa eventually here.
Well, we do have a video on what is craft roulette. If you are first time here, sit back and relax. We have a lot of tradition. We have a lot of things we do on these shows. But you can see we have a wonderfully interesting guest. So what is craft roulette? Let's find out. We'll be right back. Nice.
Did somebody ask what craft roulette is?
In a nutshell, Craft Roulette is a live paper crafts challenge show where the goal is to complete a project that has been randomly selected by the spin of a wheel, and everyone is invited to play along. There are 4 categories we spin for: project, colors, element, and random. The wheel has 24 spots to land on, but the spot it lands on might not always be a parameter. It could be a special, like guest's choice, a vetoed parameter, or other fun surprises. When you add the infinite creativity of our community and try and calculate the possible options, square the fun, carry the glitter, divide by the imagination, you end up with a near limitless amount of possible projects. Whoa. We invite a special guest on each week to share their unique spin on our challenge. If you'd like to participate, you don't have to create live with us. You can sit back and enjoy the show. Once the episode airs, you have around 50 hours to finish your own project using the same 4 parameters from this episode and submit, so don't delay too long. After your project is ready, take a photo and head over to our website. Use the Submit Contribution form to officially contribute. The form is open to the public and no membership is required. Everyone who contributes will be featured on our website, included in the next episode slideshow, and automatically entered into the next giveaway. When you visit www.craftroulette.live, you'll find all of our past episodes along with their contribution gallery, the current wheel parameters, info on how to participate, a calendar of upcoming guests, links to our spin sponsors, contact and prize claim forms, our shop, and a huge membership platform. But more on that later. And that's Craft Roulette. If you like what we do, please subscribe, like the video, and share it with your crafty friends who might enjoy it too.
Everyone is invited to join in the fun.
We like to celebrate around here, so before we spin for this week's set of parameters, we're going to look back at last week one last time and highlight some of our community's achievements. And now, back to the show.
Yep, that's what we do almost every Friday night, and you are always welcome to join us. It is much more fun with a full gallery, and we had one last week. We had 424 contributions, and it means we are up to 57,520. That puts us over 5 miles of cards if you laid them out one by one. I don't know how much more. I saw Gloria's our statistician, Gloria Davis, is at a crop right now, but that I know last week she said it was like 4.98 miles, so I think that puts us over. There are those pins dropping in all over the world. There's still plenty of room for some more folks to join us though, so call up a friend, a neighbor, and say, if you like making cards, why don't you join Craft Roulette's gallery? There was my card last week. The parameters were a square card, butterfly colors, cloud, clouds, cloudy, and tide. I was surprised at how many things you guys came up with from tide. It was during the show I was making my notes and it was just like one after another after another after another. It was quite impressive. You guys, your inspiration for all the parameters and how they can be used is truly remarkable. That was my card though. I had a square card. He was a little guy. Butterfly colors was, he was kind of like a butterfly with his wings folded so you can barely see the colors. He was kicking up a cloud of dust and he had a lariat all tied as well as his howdy. It was fun to make. It was cute. And he's on a little wobbler. So it was fun. Thanks for joining us if you saw me make it. Kelly, who is Amanda Stevens' daughter, was on and she made this beautiful card. She made it with alcohol inks and a little puffer. And she had a lot of fun. I think she had a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun getting to know Miss Kelly at Paper Ganza because she's coming with Amanda. So that'll be great. But I thought I've never done the alcohol ink. I think they're awfully pretty though. Kelly, it was fun to have you. Thank you for being a part of the mother-daughter team again in this last May. It was good. Amanda from Pear Blossom Press made this little card, and she made it so that it moves. Right? She made it so it moves. And I think it swivels, as I recall. And she was making it for a niece that was graduating. So she added some more little mortarboard hats, and it turned out perfectly fine. She had that little kitty floating in the clouds, so happy to graduate from something. Nicely done, Amanda. We will see you as our guest at Paper Ganza in July. And also, she has been working with us right alongside of us for getting Paper Ganza to be all figured out. And she's been a great gal to work with. So, Amanda, carry on. I said you didn't even have time to take a deep breath these days. Take a deep breath. Okay, back to work. Now, let's bring Sue back in for our Parade of Achievers. This is when we like to give some huzzas and celebrate some of the contributions that have been contribution levels and that have been met by our contributors, and welcome some first-time guests. We're going to welcome some 3 first-timers. We have 3 new to Club 52. We have some major milestone achievers like 25, 50, 75, sold American kind of thing. Our leading ladies. And we have 5 new mug clubbers to celebrate. If you haven't sent me your address, please do that by using the contact form on craftroulette.life, and I will send you your exclusive Mug Club Roulette stamp set. Amazing. So when we get to in the major milestone area, when you hear that 100 hit, that one and the next 4 will be mug clubbers. That means they've sent in 100 cards. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
This is on a timer. I like to be able to say their name and where they're from or how many cards, and then you are welcome to give them a little quick shout out. I love it, as a matter of fact, if you do. So, welcome some new first timers. This is the hardest card. Do you remember your first one?
Yes, I do.
Dramatic. Rhonda from Alabama.
Oh, I love those colors.
It was on Wednesday show. Jamie from Wisconsin. Completely different.
Cute.
Beverly Ganaway from Texas. She's also a new member.
Oh, very colorful.
That's cute. Congratulations on sending in your first card. Make it the first of many. Our major milestone achievers this week. Bree Barron from Missouri. 50 cards.
Floating away there.
I used that paper on Wednesday. Mary Cobberstadt from Washington. Congratulations, Mug Club.
That's a cute idea.
It really is. And Erin Cobberstadt, her daughter, with 100 cards. Another Mug Club.
Those are pretty.
Deb Shaw, welcome to Mug Club in Ontario.
Sweet colors.
That's very pretty. Heather Goodspeed, Team Teal, 100 cards from Michigan.
Oh, beautiful butterfly.
Grandma Pam, Team Teal, 100 cards from Michigan. I think it's a family thing.
I think so. Sweet card, too.
Lisa Welpley's not only having a birthday, she's also having 150 cards to celebrate.
Wonderful.
Bonnie Swakowitz, look what you did for 225 cards.
Pretty flowers.
Woo! And Team Orange. Well done,
That's
you guys.
true.
Our leading ladies this week start with Vicky Ruda in Essex, 229. Fun card. Smurf Murphy with 230. That's a cool way to do with the silhouette. Jackie Jackpot Muller with 231.
Oh, kitty.
More kitties. Kathy Herring with 234 cards. So many cards.
More kitties.
More kitties, yeah. 5K now, 6K Lamone with 236, and she has a video.
Oh, and just chilling there.
Yeah, it looks nice. And Ellen Card Monkey Jarvis is our leading lady with 247 cards, week after week, as Patty Beck would say.
Butterfly.
Wasn't it pretty?
Yeah, it was.
Welcome to Club 52, Flufflebun from Wisconsin.
Yay!
Another kitty. We like kitties here.
Ooh,
Chris-
Rainbow.
Desmoni. I'm so sorry. Number 52, Susan Schulman, the creator of this lovely outfit that Mr. Mike is wearing. Club 52 welcomes you with open
Yay.
arms of nothing. But so glad that you have bragging rights to say that you have sent in a year's worth of cards to Craft Roulette. Isn't that something?
Yay.
What card are you on?
Everybody.
What card are you on? I don't even know.
I think this week will be 110.
Oh, wow. You're up
I
there.
think.
Yeah. You're up there. Well, I did want to say that we did get a message from the House of Titizio, who often dresses
yes.
Mr. Mike. And she said she was not going to be able to be here tonight, and she wanted to tell you all hi. So there you go. That's the word on the street. So I check that one off. I didn't want to forget. Well, those were great cards.
They were.
Shall we have sunshine this week?
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. Because we don't have any control really about what we're about to get for tonight's
No.
parameters. Are you ready for that?
I am ready.
Okay. Then, Mr. Producer, bring on the parameters as I say thank you one more time for those who sent in 269 contributions. It's a beautiful, beautiful gallery. Make sure you go over to craftroulette.live, episode 269, and see what they cooked up. Well, there they are. Do they look familiar?
Yeah, they look a little familiar.
Yeah, I don't change that many out. Just as they get used, I take them off. But first, those are the parameters we will be spinning for in just a few seconds, minutes, probably more likely. And then we always start with taking a few of those off. We call them vetoes, and they are chosen by our members in a poll each week if they remember to vote them off. This week, for Project, what did they vote off? Postcard, thinking of you, encouragement card, or, oh, so sorry, you're off the board this week
Ooh,
by
they were
not
close.
only 4%. Yeah, that's pretty close. Postcard is not so loved either. That means if we land on sorry, we won't have to make a sorry card, which is kind of nice. I don't want to be too apologetic for my cards. So we will spin again if we end on sorry, or as I was saying up north, sorry. And we won't have to worry about that one. We will worry about something else here in just a few minutes, but not that one.
Mm-hmm.
Colors, what did they vote off? Vegetable garden, bakery, weather map, or 1980s? Weather map it is. It does come off. Somebody in the membership said, are these really randomly chosen? And they really are randomly chosen by the computer.
Yep.
And I don't have anything to do with them. I used to take a long time getting these things to be chosen, which ones, so they wouldn't overlap and such, but I don't worry about it anymore. So for element, what did they vote off? In the sky, food, hands, or keys? Keys by not too terribly much. What do you think about that one? You good with that one? Did you?
Yeah,
You weren't longing to do keys?
I think I was okay with any of those.
Okay. It doesn't mean that you can't put a key or use the keyword of key. If you want to, you still can. It's just that Mr. Wheel can't make us. And for random, let's see if we get the random that Sue wants in her heart of hearts. Soot. Everybody's hates soot.
Yes.
Have you
Although
voted
I have a name
soot?
called that.
I know.
Yeah, I did vote soot. Well, sometimes it's like you got to vote one of them, but it's like which one do I dislike?
The lesser of the four evils.
Or which one do I think I'd prefer not to? If I have to pick one, which one?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Although soot is really black, so I mean,
I know. We could just stretch that with our stretchy pants and say,
yeah,
I used it. I used black ink.
yeah.
It'll be okay when we get it. This is the chance. Your chance. Would you like to vote something off?
Oh, I think I'm gonna just take a chance and say whatever we land on, we land on.
Very bold, very bold. This is your only chance that you get to have mulligans. I heard that the Amanda has been too busy to even lobby against A9.
That's true. That is true.
So she is I'm really, about to send a crew out to help her with her house cleaning or something, rabbit care. I don't know what she needs. But when she's not lobbying for anti-A9, I don't know what to think. But if you're comfortable, I'm comfortable.
I'm okay.
She's going with whatever we get. Now, if we land on the first one in each column, there's a choice. You have a choice. Guest choice. And you get to pick something in that column. So, what is your favorite project? And what would you like if we get number 1?
Number 5, Thinking of You.
Thinking of You. That's an easy card to make, isn't it?
That's an easy card. It's kind of a generic one.
I don't mind it, though. I don't mind it at all.
That's an easy one.
Colors? What would you like? I don't really know your colors preferences.
I was going to go 19, workshop, because a workshop is like a craft room. So it could be any color we have. That was my
there you go.
Logic.
Yep. We would each be well equipped.
Yes, and I figured most people would be. Trying to make it easy.
I like it. For element, what would you choose?
Now this one might not be. I don't know. But 14, optimistic.
Oh. Does that mean you would smile while you make your card?
Probably. But I would like it to be a happy card.
Yeah.
Something happy that would make people happy or smile when they saw it.
And it would kind of go along with the opposite of sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've never seen a sorry you're optimistic card.
That's true. I never have either.
I am optimistically sorry.
Now that one I could maybe see. If you had the rest. You have to finesse that one, but I could see that one making...
It would take some fine finessing for me. I couldn't figure it out if I tried. And for random, what would you choose?
Well, I was thinking number 20, paperclip.
Paperclip? And do you have one handy?
I just happen to have one. Amanda did get to me this week, and one of the things I got from her was a light bulb paperclip.
But she didn't say no A9 when
she did not say that.
Amazing. Amazing.
She did just wish me to have a good time.
Well, that's good enough.
So.
That's good enough, and we hope you do too.
Yeah,
well, I think that would make a fine card. Thinking of you with workshop colors and optimistic, and add that paperclip for good measure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, make a note to be optimistic. And clip it to a card. I like it. Well, I hope you get at least one of those. You never know. Sometimes Mr. Wheel is pretty nice to a new first-timer, so...
Yeah, I don't know that I'll get the 2 like
I know. That's
our one friend
rare.
did.
Very rare indeed. But let's give him a warm-up. You guys need to send some good heart vibes here so we get something good for project. We got something good last week, after all.
Yeah,
will it be 2 weeks in a row? Number 11, A7. Very reasonable size card. We will talk about these things as we go along. For colors, what number? There's those sweethearts. Thanks, you guys. See, Mr. Wheel, look at that. Well, we're gonna spin again. Weather map doesn't get to be used tonight. Well, what will? There's some weather on Ryan Hall right now, too. You could just go over and look at that map. Number 13, 1980s. That was on the veto list, but did not get vetoed. I'm thinking bright neon kind of colors. Remember those nylon suits? Yeah. For element. That's my first thought. Number 12, interjection. The one that everybody's been waiting for. I have. I like that one. And for random, Susan Rushton says, so far so good. Number 7, include an arch. That's kind of that'll be fine. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. All right. While you guys think for just a minute and start thinking all the wonderful things, I'm seeing neon and all sorts of good things started. I'm going to give my speech. You just go ahead and sit back and relax and let your little brain, all those little gears work. This is a challenge we would love and be honored to have you join us because it's more fun with more friends. As you saw, those contributions can be all over the place as far as style. This is going to be your art project. We're not going to tell you anything about how to make something or what to do. This is not a teaching program, but you might learn something if you sit back and listen close enough. I got a feeling Sue has a lot for us to learn. The parameters can be the focal point. They can be barely fitted in, but they do need to be on your project if you decide to be a part of the challenge. They can also be very literally interpreted. Like you might say, this would be a really good question for HUI Google. What are 1980 colors? And HUI Google would flash back some more, maybe some of those bright turquoise and pinks and yellows that I remember my little girls wearing in their little jumpsuits or their little nylon, whatever they called. I don't know, play jackets or something. I don't know. But they could be something like that, or you can be highly interpreted on all these things. We're going to have fun with some interjections for instance. You can make the interjection, for instance, so the focal point, or you could put it in a speech bubble or infer it. We're gonna have some real good creative opportunity there. Mm-hmm. We welcome people from all levels of ability, interest in card making. If it's your first card or your millionth card, you're welcome to join us. We don't do any kind of contest or judging here. We just want to have a good time. So we also don't mind if you're old or young. We've had people as craftettes as young as 3 years old, but crafters can do that too. Not very often, but every once in a while somebody will get a 3-year-old to send in a card. It's pretty cool. The project can be very classic and simple, like an A7 card with some pretty papers and a sentiment and some ribbon. Or it can be highly interpreted and interpretive as a A7 card with pop-ups and fold-outs and things popping up and down. I don't know. Or anywhere in between. It's all fine. We're just here to have a good time and make something cute. It does need to be handcrafted. It does need to be family-friendly so I don't blush when I see it in the gallery. And it's one card per person. There we go. We've got Ellen Jarvis off to the races with, oh, wow, oops, ouch, hey, ugh, uh-oh. Those are interjections. Yes, they are. Thank you for getting that started, Card Monkey. So, A7,
That's easy.
no problem. Will you make it interactive, you think?
I have a basic idea. I don't have all my details yet. Believe it or not, so an A7 is a 5x7.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And I know I have those card bases. That's actually one of my more favored sizes. Mm-hmm. Just because you've got some real estate to work with. Yeah. And sometimes when you're doing a pop-up, you need that real estate. Yeah. And for this one, I was hoping if we got the include an arch, I know I was going to have to make a big card to get my idea to work.
Oh.
Yeah, I have
smart. So you're already putting the arch into some kind of
because
big plans.
This is strange, but I don't own any arch dies.
Is that right?
I don't have any.
Do you have any arches watercolor paper?
But I know how to make a pop-up rainbow.
Oh,
and
nice.
Don't worry, Karen, I'm not giving anything away. But I've already figured out how I'm going to do it using just scissors and paper. And we'll make it work.
All right. So you've got the A7, you got the plan with the arch, and then the 1980s.
Now, see, this is where in the 1980s, I was working in historic sites. And so the 1980s, I was so immersed in history I really didn't go out and watch a lot of television. I wasn't listening to popular music. I was stuck in the 1980s or 1880s. So
So
I'm thinking
your
1880s
1980s
colors.
would be more 1880s, but
They're
that's your
more-
interpretation.
But that's my
So that's
interpretation.
perfect.
So they're more muted, but I also know because everybody else does the 1980s revival as bright colors. I think for my idea for this card, which is probably going to be a pop-up rainbow, then I'm going to probably go with brighter colors. It all depends on what cardstock I pull.
Very interesting to watch your gears work. Interjection. What was your
It's
first
got to
thought?
be, whoa.
I know. I know.
It's got to be
Whoa.
that.
Whoa. There you go. It has to have the right tone.
Yes.
It's got to be whoa. So maybe we'll have some hearts and some woes, and that's a real fun one. Ouch. Maybe there'll be some Band-Aid cards.
Well, I'm
with-
thinking there could be some superhero cards
Yes.
with the kind of those big.
Wow. Batman
Yeah.
kind of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
With those colors, it'll be perfect.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That I'm thinking, didn't one of the Batman movies come out in the 80s or was it the 90s?
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember.
I do a trivia quiz every day, and whenever there's almost a movie question that's 1980s and beyond, I always never know. And I always curse at it. I don't really curse. I say, doggone you. Don't do those to me. I don't like those. That's what I tell it. But, and I never get them right.
Well, I have the same. We do a Jeopardy one every morning, and there's certain categories we just say, oh, well, I don't think our guess is going to be right.
Yep, and that's the category I would want to stay away from. But okay, there's arches, but there's also other kinds of arches besides just like there's a popular die. There are rainbows. That's a really good idea. There are arches at Mickey D's. Yeah. Maybe you've got somebody, a hamburger, one of those kind of fandom stamps.
Yeah.
And he's going,
you could
eat.
Or you could just, that would be good. Or there's a lot of dies and stamps that do the fast food kind of motif. Could be chicken nuggets. Hint, hint, Jen. Gross. Didn't she do chicken nuggets one time?
She sure did.
That was a great one.
Sure did. Oh, her cards have been memorable.
Yeah.
But there can be other arches too. Maybe an arch of a shoe.
Yes, arch of a shoe.
The
arch enemy. Yes, arch
enemy.
Archbishop.
Yeah, so there's all sorts of arches you can do too that are kind of fun to play with.
Yeah.
Using the right typography, you could have arches in your letters.
Oh,
yes,
that's true.
Yes. Well, O's have arches.
Archie comics.
Upside down U's. Yeah.
N's, if they're lowercase.
Yeah.
So we can have them all over the place.
Arched eyebrows. I like that.
Yes. Yes. That's good.
I like that one too. The St. Louis Arch, of course.
Arch rival.
Yep. There's so many things on every little possibility.
Lisa
here.
B in St. Louis says, I like the arch parameter.
She will
I would hope
gateway
so.
to card making?
Gateway to the West. Oh my goodness. She will be here in July also, so we can see if she has back to the eyebrows, like when Gina was here. The eyebrow episode. So okay, so we have lots of things. Yes, the one in France, and it's French, so I'm not going to do it. But yeah, apparently Taylor Swift has a 1989 color palette. You knew, I didn't. That's one of those trivia things. I go, I don't know. Okay, we're good. Yeah, footprints in the sand shows the foot arch. Oh, you guys are hot tonight.
Ooh,
you are hot tonight. All right. Well, I think we're in pretty good shape. What do you think?
I think so.
I think we can work with this. I'm not sure what we'll come up with, but we'll find out and know in about an hour from now.
Yeah.
All
That would be
right.
fun.
Well, if you're game, I'm game.
I am.
Let's do this thing and make sure
Okay.
you don't have to do it right now, folks. You have till all weekend. But at the same time, get those thoughts started because
Yeah.
it will start to drive you nuts. Otherwise, you'll just keep going and going. And you get parameter fever. We'll be right back after this word, ready to make something.
Oh.
Hey, Cool Mary here. You might remember me from my breakthrough role, the In Review infomercial. While normal me and the special guest are gathering their supplies, let me take this opportunity to tell you about our stamp set, our die set. Whoa. Let me, Cool Mary, show you what you can do with them. Tubular. Whoa! Gnarly. Yes, you can order these off our web shop. Every purchase helps support our shows, and in return, you can be like me, Cool Mary. Once upon a time, in a land of glitter and glue, there was Mary, who had lost her crafting mojo. Desperate, she called the one person who could help. Doc! Mary asked for one of Doc's brilliant inventions to save the day. Doc sprang into action, her lab a whirlwind of creativity. With a cry of, "Great Scott!" Doc unveiled her masterpiece, the Craft Roulette Creative Companion. She called Mary, and with a touch of movie magic, handed over the book. Mary was stunned. The book was incredible! Out of nowhere, Biff appeared to cause trouble.
Give me that book, blockhead!
A flurry of stamps sent him packing. Mary quickly explained the wonders of the book, showing its many secrets. The Craft Roulette Creative Companion is a project sketchbook designed to accompany creators along their journey through Craft Roulette's weekly challenge and its many adventures. Use it as a project planner, an idea bank, as a journal, or any combination of the three. Each spread has room to record all the essentials of the Craft Roulette Challenge. There are 100 spreads in each book, plus some extra room to sketch and make notes. The Craft Roulette Creative Companion is a collaboration with Trinity Stamps. To get yours, check out the video description for more information.
Mary, let's get back to the craft.
Oh, I am back. I was in my closet. I was in my closet. We're talking about has anybody ever seen in my closet? Well, you may have seen in my closet this time. All right. I just realized my super glue guys have interjections in their set. You can't see them because I have them all blacked out with super ink guys. But that's that. I did want to share this little thing. Oh, you gonna bring around? Then bring
Yes,
around.
in just a minute.
Okay. Several weeks ago, I had a dream that I had a cottage that was a card museum and in the front, and then it had a retreat center in the back. Well, Sue took that to literally and made a card of my card museum with some of my cards from Craft Roulette in miniature. And these are the guys I'm going to use tonight. But this is one of Sue Small-Kreider's cards. So that's what I'm talking about when I say she does remarkable work. Then she has a history in museums. And so she made a whole little guide to go along with this outstanding card. It's a treasure in my world.
We'll bring her back.
So let's bring her back and see what she's up to. All right. Whoa, she's off to the races. I better get going here. What are you going to do?
Well, I think I am going to do a pop-up rainbow.
Yes.
And I'm doing it all free-handed because I don't own any arch dies. But I kind of have an idea of how I think it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
I might use the glue guys because, believe it or not, I have never used them.
Oh, dear.
And this would be the perfect time to use them because...
And we can do them completely differently after all.
Yeah.
And we probably will.
And I think craft with an exclamation point with a little poof would make an interjection.
I think so, too.
So...
Well, that'll be great fun.
Yeah.
Well, and I went ahead and embossed.
Dina,
Go ahead.
Really fast, Dina in chat says, and those sentiments are arched.
Oh, girl.
Or what?
Way to give us some
They have
more
an
help.
arch to them.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So there'll be many arches.
Love it. Well done, Dino. That was pretty smart thinking.
Yeah.
And I got a little brick there, and I made a big arch, so it looks like you're looking into something, I suppose, and maybe I'll do a street down there. And then these guys, Croppin' and Scrapman, yes, they were inspired by some other superheroes you may have heard of. And they have this wonderful little bow kind of thing, too.
Mm-hmm.
So they can just be coming in, going. Maybe they're flying together, because they do fly. They could be flying together and have craft up there. And I think they probably had red in the 80s. And that's red and blue. That's kind of their colors.
Mm-hmm.
This one's pretty fun. I think this.
So here's some of my rainbow colors.
For your 1980s. Yeah, that's
so
real bright and pretty.
I kind of feel like those would probably fit in.
Me too.
I just have to think how I'm going to cut out the stripes. So I think my first idea.
Well, you seem to be able to handle a scissors or anything, or just about anything.
Well, except I think I made my arch too big to fit the.
Oh, mama!
Maybe I'll do it in half.
You can trim it down.
I'll do it. Yeah.
Okay, Croppin' and Scrapman, come to my aid.
So which one is which?
Scrapman is this guy. He's more like Batman. Scrapman. He's the one. He's the brains in the group. And this
He's
is
the big one.
Croppin. Yeah, the Croppin is the
Croppin
littler
is-
one.
They
He's
can
kind
see
of
it on
a
your screen.
Okay.
kind of a Don Knotts kind of guy.
Oh, Don Knotts.
Yeah. See, that's nothing modern. So I know about that reference.
So that's Don Knotts. And I thought this would be more like Batman and Robin.
Well, yeah, I just was like kind of a goofy sidekick. So
Yeah.
Robin is kind of like naive
Mhm.
and yeah.
Yeah. But they both have mischievous mustaches.
Well, they do because they came into being during that whole early meme thing. I mustache you a question.
Oh.
When they first were invented, they did not have mustaches, and then they gained them.
Okay.
I guess
Did I
they
grow 'em
came
loud
into
enough?
age and they grew them.
Ah. No.
So we'll take this guy off, flop him up there. He's nice and big, so I won't lose him. And here are the real McCoys. Here they are. Thank you, Mr. Producer. Here are
Oh.
the original super glue guys. They were made out of empty glue bottles.
Oh, how
And
cute.
they've got little super glue guy capes because I do live in another land and of imagination.
Mhm.
And
It's
they look
okay.
a little bad for. But they've been
They're
around.
probably almost 20 years old.
Yeah, my gosh, they probably are. Right now, they just live in their own little mug. It's their retirement mug.
Oh. Well, that's nice that they have their own place.
I think so too. They used to have a little plastic thing that I kept their props in and things. I just got rid of it this week.
Oh, no.
I know.
I saw that you were decluttering.
A little bit. Kind of got
A little
sidetracked,
bit?
but a little bit always helps, right?
Yeah. But,
Oh, I got
I
that one
know.
dirty. Good night, Christina. Thank you. Christina is in Sweden, and it's late there.
He's ready.
I got that dirty, but I'm just going to go with it. So that's how it's going to be. That is just how it's going to be. I am, however, going to do this piece too. So how are those arches coming? They look kind of cool, kind of organic.
Yeah. I know how I want to put these on.
You said before the show that you were excited that you weren't going to have to
Do a process video.
Yes.
This is my process video, guys.
No editing here.
No editing.
Well, how many process videos have you made for Craft Roulette?
I honestly don't know.
We could find
I
out pretty
just-
easily, I bet, but I
Probably,
don't know either.
but a lot. I want to say I started in January, I think this year. I think. Because I think that was like a New Year's resolution, or was that last year?
I think it was last year because that's why we had you on the community showcases because we knew you
Oh,
as
well,
a process video maker.
okay.
Mm-hmm. So I would bet it's been much longer than you thought.
Probably.
Yeah, time blurs, doesn't it? Just like these
Yeah.
guys have probably been around for 20 years.
Well,
It just slips over. Like I was saying on our Facebook group, and if you haven't joined our Facebook group, it is a private group. Just Craft Roulette Show, answer the questions, and we'll let you in happily. But it was really hard to open up the June month because it just doesn't seem like it should be June. It should only be May, right?
Yeah, that would make more sense. Although, well, I grew up in Indiana, in Indianapolis, where the month of May is the Indianapolis 500.
Mm.
And so since I know that has already happened, I know that it
That's a good time
must
mark.
not be May anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, those are good kind of time marks. But then it becomes, what, was that this year's Indianapolis 500 or was that last year's? Unless you're really invested. So do you watch it?
I watch it here, but when I was in Indiana, it's blocked out, so you can't watch it.
Oh.
So once I left Indianapolis, I moved someplace that had television that I could actually get it.
Right.
It was a different experience. Although I have to say, I like listening to it on the radio.
Oh, have you ever been to it live?
I have not been to that, but since I live in Daytona Beach now, I have been to one of the NASCAR here at the Daytona Beach track. Okay. But I just don't like all the accidents, so I'm not a big race fan.
Right.
But when you live someplace where there are races, you kind of have to deal with it.
Right. Right.
Just like you might have to deal with Chiefs traffic
winning?
on.
Oh no, they're winning again. Right. Well, we don't too much, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Traffic
I do
everything.
have a thought. I do think about that. Like after the game, I don't want to be driving on the highway because there is sometimes, occasionally, somebody might have a drink.
Yeah.
There may be some impaired judgment. Maybe.
Okay.
I just emboss these things because I know that my ink, I'm not letting it dry sit hard enough to prevent it from possibly smearing. So we're going to go with it. Well, we do have some questions from our members for you.
Okay.
And we're going to start with a big one that was from our member, Sue Small-Kreider.
Oh. I wonder who she is.
I don't know. It's just the funniest thing. But Sue Small-Kreider asks, Sue Small-Kreider, you've worked in historic sites and museums. And see, she was very smart to ask this because it kind of plays into her thought process on her card. Mm-hmm. Did you dress up as characters for a time period?
Oh, yes.
Oh, that was a very clever question for her.
Yeah. I worked at least 3 different sites where I had to dress for that period. So I have done colonial Pennsylvania Dutch, and I worked at historic Schaefferstown, and they would do festivals. So their Cherry Fair is coming up on June the 28th. And their cherry fair in that little town in Lebanon County, Pennsylvania, just north of Lancaster, has been going on since like the 1700s. That it's a festival celebrating the cherries. But I would dress up, and everybody at this would dress up in what people of the 1700s would have been wearing. It was a farming community, so nothing fancy. So I had a little cap that could tie under my chin.
Oh, the white one?
Little white one. And everything was handmade.
Do you sew also?
Yes, I sew.
Goodness. Yes.
believe it or not, I prefer to hand sew more than I do a machine.
It's
Just to have
very
more
relaxing.
control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
So,
relaxing.
and another place I've done the Civil War hoop dresses in several
Oh, my.
places.
With the
I
hoop
might
skirt,
still,
with the hoop
yeah, with the
and
hoops.
everything. Uh-huh.
I think I still might have a dress. Should anybody be wanting to get a dress, you need to go to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. When I lived near there was still a shop that would sell 1860s clothing.
For
Not
reenactments,
in,
there are that's
yeah,
a
yeah.
whole culture.
Oh, yes. And I
Yeah.
am not a thread counter, should there be any out there wondering. Do you know what a thread counter is?
No, I don't.
In reenactment terms,
Oh.
it is people who want to be very, very authentic, and your fabric, depending on the area you're doing, whether it needs to be kind of coarse fabric, and is it the
True
right
homespun.
true homespun? There's no polyester in the fabric.
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
I have to admit, I definitely am not a thread counter.
I'm going to give a shout out to one of my husband's friends who is a reenactor or has been, and he sometimes watches the show with his wife. So hi, Phil and Marianne, if you're watching the show.
Well, good.
He really does do that, and they camp out, and it's just very intense, I think.
Well, if you're really into it. Now, one of the times I was doing the Civil War era was when I was at the President James Buchanan home.
Mm-hmm.
And for people who know their history, they know that the state started succeeding while Buchanan was president.
Mm-hmm.
In that few months before Lincoln took office. And so we often would have Civil War reenactors at the site, and all of the docents would dress, and sometimes we would do days where you would walk through and it would all be reenactors portraying characters within either the family or neighbors, and they might be discussing what a certain event from Buchanan's time period was. They were kind of like scripted plays, but not really you had talking points. You didn't have
actual dialogue.
Actual things, unless there were certain phrases that we knew we had to say for an event.
But then they let you cut you loose and
then you could
interpret. Interesting.
So we had a lot of I often would be a visiting neighbor to talk about things and gossip. Gossip about, can you believe?
How fun.
And then I also
So you're a bit of an actress.
I don't like portraying actual people, but I like being in the moment, shall we say.
Okay.
So, but I also worked at another president, the U.S. president's home, Benjamin Harrison, our 23rd president. And he was 100 years before George Bush Sr., 1888 to 1892. And that would have been the era of the bustle.
Oh my goodness, the bustle. And I'm not meaning dun 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 dun. No.
No. This was we're not
the bustle.
This was a dress, which meant it had a padded derriere.
Yes. There were no stretchy pants in those eras.
No.
Not
no
a
polyester.
Mm-mm.
So
were they creative? And they didn't have a ton of paper to play with either.
Now, in the 1880s, the women were definitely doing scrapbooks and things.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
And they were definitely doing paper crafts. And actually, when I worked in Shaferstown with the Pennsylvania Dutch, they were doing something called Schneerenschnitt, which is...
Pardon me? Bless you.
Schneerenschnitt. I think I'm saying it right. It's a German word meaning cut paper. And they would do like Valentine's and I know I've seen wedding, what do you call them?
Invitations or announcements?
No, like a wedding certificate, marriage license. It's not the word I want, but
yeah,
that you would hang on your wall, and they would have the
a reminder, a marriage reminder.
Well, in
A
some
pretty
cases,
one.
in the colonial days, it would be the actual certificate that would be signed.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was signed by all the witnesses. Sometimes.
Huh. So you wore a bustle.
So I wore a bustle. I know I made it. This was when I was first starting out, and I actually recreated a dress that I found in a pattern book from the 1880s.
My goodness.
At one point,
and did you hand sew it?
No, and that one I will tell you had polyester in it.
No, I won't drudge and I won't tell.
Well,
your secret is safe.
It still was a nice looking dress. But I actually got in trouble from my boss because at that point, this was in the 1980s, I will say, I got in trouble because I was wearing clogs and earth shoes.
Earth shoes? I forgot about earth shoes. That's marvelous.
Although I think that was more of a 70s, but I had earth shoes in the 80s because they were comfortable.
Yeah. Those were like early Birkenstocks.
Yeah. And believe it or not, my one grandfather wore earth shoes. He liked them.
How interesting.
Because he said it was more comfortable than regular shoes. So we just went with it.
What a hippie. Grandpa hippie. I like it.
But then I also grew up, my family had a VW camper van.
Oh, yeah, you definitely had some hippie influence there.
But I still remember we were traveling someplace and we were at a campground and my dad said, I have a new respect for hippies. And my mother said, excuse me? And he said, well, I went to take my shower and I was talking to these two gentlemen who also had a VW camper van. And we were traveling someplace in Europe. I don't remember where it was, but he said he was asking them, had they gotten there? Where had they picked it up? Because they were from, I think, Canada. And he was like, I need to get whatever the 50,000 or whatever the mileage thing was when you needed to get the checkup on the vehicle. And they're like, well, we made an appointment at such and such place. And my dad says, well, we could go there. Do you think they'd let us? And they're like, go ahead and take our appointment. We're not going to be at 50,000 by the time we get there. So just take our appointment. That was like,
nice hippies.
Yes. And my father said, well, it just goes to show you can't tell a person by their appearance.
That's a good lesson to learn.
Well, as you can see, it stuck with me.
Indeed.
That was about 50 years ago.
You seem to have a fantastic memory. Do you
Well-
have any tricks for us folks that don't?
Well, I tend to have one of those photographic memories.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, in my mind, as I'm telling you that story, I can remember what those guys look like. And I can tell you that it was a red VW. So all I can say is genetics?
Perhaps so.
I don't know.
So you're seeing that you see in pictures. And
Yeah,
I think that probably helps.
that probably does.
Uh-huh.
I'm not as good as a Sheldon Cooper.
I think that is
But-
a reference I do not.
It's
Is
a
that
Big Bang Theory.
Okay. That's what I was going to guess. If I was taking my quiz, that's what I would have guessed.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
you would have
but
been right.
I probably wouldn't get very many time points, but I would have got that would have been it. Well, who wants to be that anyway, right? No.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not sure I would want to be that.
that rigid.
Yeah. I'll be a little forgetful and I'll be okay.
Okay.
But okay, so you like museums. Let me tell you about my museum experience yesterday.
Okay.
I went to the Rabbit Hole in Kansas City. It's in North Kansas City. So for those who are going to Paper Ganza, it might be something you might want to look into. It is a children's literature museum.
Ooh.
And
Sounds
it is fabulous. It's pretty new. And they have, I didn't know how many, there were a lot of books I'd never heard of, but they had all sorts of exhibits of just children's books.
Oh, how cool.
And you go down this rabbit hole to get to the rabbit hole. And it's pretty fun. And we just had a good time. And I remember when I was there I went with my friends Francis and Eileen. And I remember saying, I want to remember all of this. It's such a cool place.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's what I did. I think it was a museum that you might like.
Well,
And
I'll have to check that out.
We decided it was actually as much fun without children.
As an adult?
Uh-huh. As it might be
Well,
with children.
I have a feeling in another couple of years, you and your grandsons may go.
Oh, I was doing some reconnaissance for sure. Yeah.
I don't know that JD is quite there yet, and definitely
is
not
not.
LD.
No, LD's not. He's not quite 6 pounds.
Ah,
So he's
a little guy.
Yeah, he's little.
Oh, but he sounds sweet.
He is so cute and sweet.
And I have a feeling there'll be lots of nice pictures by his mommy.
Well, and she's the photographer. Here's the rub on that. They are adopting him and they cannot post anything on social media for 6 months.
Oh, well,
Yeah, that's a rule. That's a law. So,
by the time
how
they
it goes.
can,
There'll be so
he'll
many.
be even more cuter.
That's true. You won't just be sleeping all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fine. But I think, yep, they're having to wait. It's okay, though.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah. He will be just as cute soon as 6 months. You know how fast that can go.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh.
Blink of an eye.
Especially when I don't have to be up in the middle of the night.
Oh, that's one of the advantages of being a grandparent.
I think so. There is that one. I know I've got a die for that, don't I? Yes, I do. Okay, here we go.
So,
Haven't used these
you got
guys in a
this.
while. Well, that was you were ready for that. You were ready for that question like you had written it yourself.
Yeah, wasn't I?
Quite impressive.
Funny how that goes. Are there any
Yeah.
other questions?
There are. There are, and I think
Okay.
you'll enjoy some of these a lot. Hat Trick Smith, for instance, some people know her as Irene, says your cards always blow my mind, and she would like to know if you have have you found any of your museum exhibition skills translating into your card designs.
Well, you've already given the one example where it definitely paid. Now this is where I'm going to have problems. I'm going to have to cut this down. Well, I mean, a lot of exhibit work is figuring out how can you put these objects into that space.
Okay.
And so that's sometimes a little bit of what card making is.
That's
But
true.
it's just,
So kind of a basic layout design
yeah,
has some familiarity to you.
yes.
Except in a much smaller, less interactive. I don't know. I just see that there's so many things about you that have played into what you are now.
Yeah, there's definitely, but then I think we all are products of our
combined life
environment. Yeah.
But I don't know. It seems like I see you really strongly having these influences. It's neat.
Well,
but then again, you've been making cards since you were able to walk.
Well, like I said, this is, if my father were still alive, he would be watching Craft Roulette and probably submitting cards.
I love it.
That was just the kind of person, and probably his mother would be doing the same thing. I mean, spending summers with my grandmother usually meant that we would be making projects. I know one summer my sister had acquired a spinning wheel. And so that summer when we were with
spinning wheels, who has printing presses? What?
we were, you
are so unique. This could be a cloud from last week.
We used to play what we called Daniel Boone. Do you remember the Daniel Boone, Fess Parker? That show? That was a big thing when I was growing up, was to play Daniel Boone. That's what me and my friends called it. And that's why we were doing a lot of these, traditional crafts, I guess you would say. Okay, this is not going to be my best pop-up arch, but it's working.
It is working.
It is working. It's not my best, but we're going to go with that. So now I just need to get.
Well, that's why people have to go to your channel and subscribe so that they can see you doing some of your best.
I promise next week I will have a better rainbow arch.
You're doing fine.
Makira has a spinning wheel.
Makira has a spinning wheel?
Ah. Flax or wool?
Goodness, you guys.
Someplace around here I still have a drop spindle. Okay, I will admit I was quite the nerd in college. I would wait. I would walk to dinner at the cafeteria, and while I was waiting in line, because there was always a line before I could get to where you get your tray, that I would sit and just spin with my drop spindle, wool or whatever. I didn't feel so nerdy when somebody else from my dorm would bring hers and she was spinning silk.
Oh my gosh, for real, silk.
For real. Yeah, she also spun, and she reenacted her summer job was to play a reenactor from she worked at Connor Prairie, which was like a 30s, maybe 1840 Indiana Living History Museum. And she would be like stationed in a cabin, and she would be like either the mistress of the house or the daughter. And so one of the things that she liked to do was to spin. So now I need to get my stamping platform.
Your nerd buddy. I love it.
Yeah. So, okay.
So, are you going to be at my card museum? Are you going to be the director?
Well,
probably a little
I
hard.
suppose. Well, I think I'm more of a concept person, maybe.
So maybe when we're building the...
Or a guest curator.
Yeah, I'm seeing this. So there is this, and I think this is part of my original dream influence. There is a small town outside of Kansas City called Paola. It's a nice little place. And they have a miniature exhibit every summer.
I've heard you talk about that.
And it's just basically cards. I mean, you could stick one on a folded piece of paper and you would have a card. And it's a really cool exhibit. They just have panels and you just look at them all. But, I think it's not that far-fetched from a card exhibit like that. But we have galleries. I mean, at the same time, this is one reason I love the galleries. It's like a museum of each episode.
Yeah.
Without having to pay rent, just a little bit for
we pay
place
some
that
rent.
we do pay rent for the server
and for the storage and for the bandwidth.
Oh yeah, there's all that, but
our members help us take care of that.
That's right.
And now you just saw why I don't do a lot of stamping. I'm not very good at it. But it will all be fine.
I think it looks okay.
Okay. Now I have to decide. I guess I will color these.
Ow! I just want to kind of do some Batman sounds here. Ow! Pow!
Whoosh!
Yes. Pop.
Pop. Zing. No. They didn't do Zynga. Sorry, I'm mixing shows.
And I don't think we can sing the song because it's probably copyright, not public domain.
Probably.
Zow.
Zow, yeah. Holy smokes.
Yeah. Oh, we'll have some fun with these. These do need to be family-friendly interjections.
Yes.
If you're just thinking you want to get creative, please don't. In such ways.
Bazinga would be acceptable.
Yeah, I think so.
Bazinga.
Aren't there some Gen Z kind of... I mean, cap, no cap. That could kind of be an interjection, couldn't it?
I have no idea.
Paula Rice says Connor Prairie is still going strong.
Yes, I know.
That's quite.
I haven't been there recently.
Longevity.
Now, growing up, I used to go to the Indianapolis Children's Museum, and my father would take me while my older sister and siblings went to the John Heron Art Institute for art lessons. And when I was old enough, I got to go.
Aw. You probably looked forward to that.
Yeah. But one of the things I found out about my father was, after he retired, he volunteered at the Children's Museum.
Mm-hmm.
And when he stopped volunteering, well, actually, before he stopped volunteering, he was told that he was the volunteer who had the longest experience with the Children's Museum because his mother in the late 1920s would take him when it first opened.
Oh,
So, and I can
that's
remember
sweet.
when I was little, I would ask him, is this, because before they built the new building, there was, it was in an old mansion.
Mm-hmm.
And you went in the front door, and there was this suit of armor.
Oh, wow.
And I think the floor was black and white marble tiles. And it had a big staircase, which I always like to go up to. And when you got to the first landing, off that was the room that had all the old dolls.
Oh, did you like the dolls?
Oh, yeah. They were all the old China dolls. I
Oh.
love those.
Uh-huh.
And then someplace in the back of it, they had a newer space that was probably built when I was born. And in it, they had a stuffed polar bear.
They're huge, right?
Oh, yeah. And when they built the new one, the last time I was at the Children's Museum a few years back, they still had the polar bear. Because
still
everybody
living.
remembered something like that. And the part that I loved about their new display of him was they actually had fur that you could touch instead of touching him.
Oh, smart.
But it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
And the other thing that museum was known for was they would do, as a fundraiser, a haunted house every year in an outbuilding.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say that when I was in my 30s, I still was going to the haunted house.
Oh, it must have been really good.
Well, it was one of those
Caitlin
that you
Anthony
just,
kind of thing.
if you went as a child, it was like, and I didn't have any, had a friend who also didn't have any children. We were like, we still have to go.
Oh.
It was just something we did.
Yeah.
So,
That's good stuff.
but yeah, that's because I was always taken to museums as a child. That's probably why I ended up going into the museum business.
Mm-hmm. I would bet that had a strong bearing on it. Because you liked them. You found them interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were just something you knew was supposed to be part of your life. I like that. Oh, look at those guys. They're looking good.
I think they're going to fly. I still have to get a sentiment on here. Okay, so I know they're going to do that.
Jay Thomas says, on a scale of 1 to 10, he is our Craft Roulette Valentine, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
How much do we need more cat parameters on the wheel?
Oh.
Oh, that Jay. He gets that cat in there every time he can. Now, your website, I want to make sure your YouTube channel is named after a cat.
That was a cat. This cat has a museum story too.
Of course. I would be disappointed if it didn't. But go ahead. I'd love to hear it.
When I lived in Cincinnati, I had museum colleagues who worked at other museums. And there was one that worked in a outdoor village in Sharon Woods. And they had this stray cat that they said was kind of hanging around. And they knew I was kind of looking for a cat. And they said, if we can catch it, do you want it? And I said, sure. And that cat became Yuli. But he became Yuli because the night I went to get him, they were having a reenactor portraying Ulysses S. Grant. And they did this like lecture series, and they called it a Chautauqua. And so Ulysses S. Grant was at the Chautauqua that summer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how Uli, which is short for Ulysses, his full name was Ulysses S. Chautauqua.
Oh my goodness.
But I called him Uli.
Well, I would think he would probably be very comfortable with that. Otherwise, he would probably feel like he needed to stand at attention or something.
Well,
that's cute. That's a very cute, unique name.
He did not come when you called him Ulysses, but when I lived in Shaverstown with him, we lived next door to nearby the town cemetery. And he liked to go out and spend the afternoon out in the cemetery. And when I was done with my museum day, I would whistle for him and he would come.
Oh.
He knew the routine.
Yeah. Oh, cats are
so
smart enough. They're just not always willing enough.
Okay.
And if you have not subscribed to Sue's channel, there's a tag up at the top of the chatterbox to go over and do that.
So
do you have a routine on your YouTube channel?
I usually try to post a craft roulette video on Friday. Definitely by Sunday night I have it up. Unless, I think there was only one weekend I was gone. I didn't get home until late Sunday afternoon. So I got the card done, but I didn't, I don't think I posted that one until Monday. But usually by Sunday night I have it posted.
Wow, that's really fast.
And then usually I'll do one other post during the week. Sometimes it's Tuesdays.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's other days of the week. Since I'm on Karen Berniston's design team, usually when there's team projects that I need to have posted, it's usually on a Tuesday. So, okay. What am I doing wrong? Why isn't that stamping?
I have a little time I can pick that up. Okay, I want to move. Come on, stay with the card here.
Are your craft supplies not behaving too?
No, it's just that it's doing real well. This foam tape you can lift up for 30 minutes, but it's not adhered to the super glue guy either, so I didn't know which one to pull off of. So I just had to help it make its right decisions. I think I just wanted to move him up a little bit, not much, but maybe a little. This guy's hanging over the side, so I kind of want this guy hanging over this side. What was the most interesting exhibit that you think that you enjoyed making the most?
Oh. Well, most recently I worked at a photography museum here in Daytona. The Southeast Museum of Photography. And we had a couple just interesting exhibits of non-traditional photographs. And there was someone had done, I can't think of the right name. They're blue-colored photographic prints.
Cyan,
yes, something like that. But they had printed them on fabric.
Oh, pretty.
So in the exhibit there were like banners that were printed like that, but there was an actual whole kite that literally hung off of the ceiling. And it was just, that was probably the most interesting exhibit.
Going back to the rabbit hole, they have Blueberries for Sal is one of their rooms. And it's all blue and white. And it is amazing. The curtains are made out of paper, but they look like they're cloth and they're folded. And one of them even, it looks like he's blowing in the wind. Oh, the stove is blue and white. Everything is there. It's just a wonderful, wonderful room. Yeah.
That sounds like it.
Yeah, I know. I want you to go. Are you going to go to the Truman Museum when you're in town? Because he was a president.
I will be honest, I'm probably not going to leave the hotel. Only because I have limited time.
Right.
That so I don't know, but maybe on another trip I will get there.
There you go. I don't think they have it planned to go anywhere.
No, it's
Harry will be there for a while.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've visited a lot of presidential sites, and you'd think I would remember if I'd been.
There's been a bunch,
but there's a couple of them that this is horrible to say. You've been to one presidential site; they all look a lot alike. They all have the wooden screen doors. That's what I'm thinking of.
That's
or whether I'm thinking like because I think Ronald Reagan's is also.
He has a plane there though, doesn't he? A whole plane.
Well, there's a lot of. I mean, there's places that are the birthplace. There are places that.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Presidents. The more recent ones sometimes will have several sites.
Why just one when you can have 10?
Yep. Because there's I forget, there's a couple down here in Florida of, almost like George Washington slept here.
Oh, I've got an Eisenhower's 8 here table. It was my great grandmother's table, and I grew up down the street. He was a friend of my great uncle, and so we always said on this table, Eisenhower 8 here. So there you go.
Hey, my family had a John Dillinger chest because it came from a house. That John Dillinger stayed at one night.
Oh my gosh! We also have a Civil War. We also have a Civil War desk that boys from both sides of the war wrote letters home on because it was in Kentucky. So there you go.
Okay.
Yeah. Just isn't that funny? The things you end up with, and the stories associated with them. I should write underneath our Eisenhower table, Ike 8 here.
Yes, you should.
Yeah.
So there's provenance for it.
That's right.
And then someone's going to say, and what date?
Oh, I have to make all that up? I could. Because I did look at his story, and I could get pretty close.
Well, you could also say who ate a meal with him there. Mm-hmm. That's one of those important things that you need to do when you're citing provenance.
Sounds like a antique roadshow.
Yeah. That's one show that I don't enjoy watching. Don't ask me why. Right? It's just it's like work. Yeah, I really don't like it because it's to me it was always like work. It's like, no, I came home. I'm done working for the day.
That. Yeah.
But okay. This is not my best card, but it's not my worst card.
You know, that is pretty good for your first time on Craft Roulette then. If it's not your worst card, I would go with it. I would say that's pretty successful, honestly. I didn't get very many questions in because we talked so much, but that's okay. Jay did have a second question. It's the real question. He said, how'd you get into interactive cards? And that's a great question. So I want to make sure you say that.
Well,
was it just your background from making cards so
early, right? It was just something like that. But I don't know. At some point, I got interested in just making 3-dimensional fold-up things. I remember looking at a book, and I said, "Oh, that's sleigh in that book. I think I could figure out how to make it 3-dimensional." And so my father challenged me to try to do it.
Oh, wow.
So, and he was one who was, and I think we had I know we had a pop-up book as like a children's book that, you'd open the pages and things would pop up, and it always fascinated me.
They do. So, they're wonderful.
So I think that was some of the challenge. But that's
one of the things they had at the children's or the rabbit hole is they had a lot of shadow boxes.
Oh yeah,
with book references, and I thought those wouldn't be hard if you go to my ex-boyfriend Michael's and get a shadow box frame that has a opening and closing, so you could change out your own exhibits. I think it sounded pretty cool. Yeah, cool. So I could make a diorama for busy tractor. So yeah, and then take it out and make a book page out of it, and then he would have a book of all those wonderful things. That's another thing. But yeah, pop-up books are good. I can see how that would excite some. They are exciting. They're very intriguing, especially when you're just getting that whole thing together and going, oh, how does life work?
Here, I've got my paper clip from Amanda.
Isn't that a girl?
I had to get it in there somehow. I didn't, I started to cut through on the front side, and I decided maybe that wasn't a good idea.
And you do both. You usually do, because your interactives are often pop-ups and they're on the inside of the card. You don't stop on the front, do you?
No. I usually do stuff on the back, but that paperclip needed to be inside. I'm sorry. I was thinking about putting it on the back side. I guess I could find the paperclip stamp and put that on the back side. But I'm trying to figure, I think I've got, my interjection isn't real. Got the craft there.
Well, I'm going to make sure I have mine put together. You can kind of mentally check your card off while I go through mine. This is an A7. It's 5 by 7 inches. 1980 colors. I tried just to make them real bright. And I do have some pink in there, some kind of neon pink in there, and some turquoise and some yellow all together. And I thought that might kind of look like that nylon stuff. And then my interjection is craft, which is a very important interjection around here.
Yes,
and
definitely.
I included an arch here. And there was the second arch that we had already. That was a given. I don't remember. And then I just put them on a brick wall. So with a little thing there. And then I hope you have a super birthday. I think I can find some little stars to add in there, but I'm not going to do that tonight. But I think I might add a few more stars and maybe even some stars out here. We'll see. But that's my card for episode 270, and I'm sticking to it. I think I hit all the parameters. Am I free to submit, Deputy Heidi?
Sounds like you've got them.
Woo! It's always a close one. All right. So as I went through those, do you think you hit it?
Okay.
Let's see.
I think I did.
Okay.
It's definitely an A7. And my colors, mostly on my rainbow, are bright To me, they
Yes.
probably seem like 1980s. And the rest of the universe, other than mine, uh,
And you hand cut your rainbow.
I hand cut
Thank
my
you, Deputy.
rainbow. And I've got my interjection of craft. I think later on I may somehow put this cloud in there.
Mhm.
Do some other things to give it a little
It
more
looks very
action.
interjectory.
And I will probably do some other kind of sentiment in here. Definitely have my arch. So I think that's everything.
I think you did it. By the way, I
So-
just read that Amy Powers made a Christmas pop-up book this past Christmas using Karen Burniston's dies.
I saw it. It was amazing.
I bet it was. Wow, impressive stuff. Yeah,
There
we have
are-
all the tools, don't we? We just have them.
Yeah.
We really have
Well-
them to do great things.
And even if you don't have the dies, you can still make pop-up arches.
You can, and you've proved it here tonight. You did a great job.
Well, this
It
was
was
a
fun
lot
to
of
get to
fun.
know you a little better and hear all your stories. You're a wonderful storyteller. Very interesting. Very interesting young lady. We're going to let you relax a minute, okay? And we'll come back
Okay.
to say goodnight to you, and we're going to give away some stuff, see who's coming up, and thank our members. You know, Mr. Mike's nose was getting a little crooked. She did a great job, didn't she? She really did. That's a big deal when you say yes to be on Craft Roulette, and we're always really glad to have our intrepid guests join us. Not everybody does. It's just it's not the right fit for a lot of people, but we always appreciate when we get a great guest like Sue. You can play this too. My gosh, we want those cards and projects to come in, please. It does need to be a card. Well, A7, it doesn't say a card. I guess you could have just an A7 card front, 5x7. Anyway, have that, the 4 parameters, family friendly. Send it to craftroulette.live. Submit project. You have till Sunday at midnight Central Daylight Time to get those cards in. Then, if you want more time and to support the show also, you can become a member and have till Thursday for as long as you're a member. Isn't that a piece of cake? I mean, we all like that. Honestly, about a fourth of the cards at this point come in late. A fourth or more come in late each week. I think it is one of the members' favorite perks. We have wonderful guests, like I said, and they are all intrepid. We have our last mother-daughter combination next week with Rye and Amy's Wares. Christine Bertram, the Purple Princess from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, will be joining us. She hasn't been on for a long time. Looking forward to seeing what's up with her. Justine, who's been doing wonderful process videos for her Craft Roulette cards. She was saying on the one I watched today, oh, you just get started and you won't stop. You will be addicted, and I'm so glad she is. You're going to like her a lot. Tina Juan Kenobi will be joining us from the Philippines for our July 4th, Independence Day in the United States show, and I'm looking forward to her. You know her all in the chatterbox. You know her very well as 50 Shades of Craft. Isn't that how it is? She changed it, and I used to just be Tina Juan Kenobi, and I knew her. But she's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. She's already telling her friends about it. And then Hannah C. will be joining us for a first-time guest. Join us every week. Make sure you give us a penny before you leave, please, if you thought it was good. If not, don't worry about it. But we would appreciate that, Vinny. Subscribe and hit that notification to make us extra happy. And Sue's, too, please. Yes. Thank you, guys. You are so nice. I look forward to seeing what you were talking about. Thank you, members. We do have a silver and gold call tonight after the show. It's an after Craft Roulette after party. Make sure you don't leave us. Mr. Producer will get me all set up, and then I'll be there in just a few minutes after the show. But these are wonderful people who give us some financial help so that we can stay on the air free. Now, I will say we have added the ability of YouTube to add an ad, but not in the middle. It's not supposed to be in the middle, but we heard they were adding them anyway.
They were adding them anyway,
So-
so we enabled monetization on our videos so that we could tell them not to put gross pharmaceutical ads on.
Yeah, we had a
or
little-
we can tell them not to put on.
Yeah,
so
we had a little extra agency, as they say. So that's why you're maybe seeing ads, but it was because they were doing it anyway. So we always used to say we'd do it ad-free, but they were doing it anyway. But we appreciate this platform so much that we said, let's just see what we can do. 2 sponsored ads today? I'll tell you what, I don't know. But we thank you guys and hope to see a lot of you over on our Zoom call right after the show. Oh, and then Gold next Monday. Gold has a Zoom call at noon on Monday. Join us if we have a good time chatting. I wonder if Sue will be there. She usually is in the after call, but she might just need to unwind. I'm not sure. This is the board where we give away stuff, and we're giving away a lot of stuff tonight. So I'm going to get my pencil ready, my short little squatty pencil, and take some notes. We always start with a Craft Roulette original giveaway, a handmade card with an itty bitty gift. If you sent in those cards last week, your name will be on that spinning thing unless you said no thank you. So there we go. Ads show up on your replay. Yeah, there's only so much you can control on these things, so shucks. So who's getting that? Oh, Sue Harris. I'm sending it across the pond. How nice. Sue did 2 really cool cards this last week. She did one for the gallery, and then she did another one that was like day or night or something, seasons. I can't recall right off the bat, but it was the same card in different settings, and she put that in the bonus gallery. You can see that on craftroulette.live, episode 269. Check it out. And Sue, make sure you send me your address using that claim prize form after all the spinning is done. Who's going to get a Craft Roulette goodie bag this week? Unless it's in Sue's neck of the woods, then you'll get a Krog. Or anywhere outside the United States. Good luck all. I forgot to give you the big, oh damn it, she's in town, or she's in Florida. Yay for you. She also sends in really nice cards and has been a member and a longtime contributor. Well done, ma'am. She's got cute cards too. For a Trinity Stamps gift certificate, who's going to get it? We all love our Trinity products. Oh, yes, we do. And remember, we do have some collab items with them. Lee Ann is getting one. Yay for you, Lee Ann. Please make sure you use the same email that you did to send in your card last week, so we'll recognize it as the rightful owner of the gift. For our first Karen Burniston giveaway, $25 gift certificate, who's going to get it?
We're doing 3?
Yes.
Are they all the same?
25. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, Karen, for your generosity and your nice support of your team member. I think that shows a real good class. Karen will be one of our teachers at Paper Ganza. Again, we are sold out. So I'm sorry that you can't join us, but if you haven't bought your ticket, but it's going to be broadcasted live as well. For a second, Karen Burniston.
Not the classes.
No, sorry. Teresa N. Congratulations, Teresa N. I will be contacting you with your information on how to get your gift certificate. I can't remember how Karen and I work together on this, but we'll figure it out. You don't have to figure it out. I'll figure it out, and we'll get you fixed up. For the third one, thank you again, Karen. She will be giving away one each week for the rest of the month. Chris Pazmino, our original friend from Ecuador. She's not there anymore, but congratulations, Chris. How nice. I'm glad for you. And for a Pajama Crafter stamps. I don't know why I get tongue-tied on that. Sorry, Joy. But, the more times I say it, other people will be out there going, it's Pajama Crafter stamps, Mary! And then, that's not bad advertisement. So getting that stuck in their head. Well, it's Lisa B, who likes the arch. Good. She'll probably be on the call after this, too. So congratulations all. We are glad to get you some new supplies and have some fun with some shopping. I'll appreciate you spin sponsors and I appreciate you playing Craft Roulette. Let's bring her back, shall we? Oh, there she is. Are you a quick tidier?
No, I'm actually still working on the card.
You had your head
I
down
got
the
carried
whole time.
away.
What'd you do?
Well, I cut out the cloud burst.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gluing that onto the rainbow.
Nice.
Maybe I'll show it later on the Zoom call.
That's right. So you're going to come over and be the star of the hour, right?
For at least the beginning. I might fade.
You
But
usually fade. Yeah, it's a little later there than it is here.
yeah, but
Well, you made it.
yeah,
I think
it was
you tried.
fun.
I think you did well. You didn't seem to
Yeah,
have
it
any
was-
trouble at all.
Well, I figured I kind of knew if I got that arch what I was going to do,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just a matter of how long it would take me to put all the stripes on.
But all your preparation didn't quite come to be, did it?
Well, I was ready.
Yeah, you were ready, and that made you
I-
ready.
I had a great one for half and half or split down the middle. I had a great one for that. I'll save that one when we get those.
File that for future. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, that's
So-
good. Karen has a
But-
new release soon?
Well, starting next week will be the sneak peek week. And I know I and many of the team members will have new sneak peek on their blogs. I know I will have them probably every weekday starting Monday.
Wow.
And then they will be able for purchase on Karen's website and at other craft stores and outlets on the 16th of June.
Okay.
And I've been authorized to give some hints.
Turn up the volume, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, crafters and craftettes. We've got some authorization for hints. Let's see.
Well, all I can say is I think people will be hopping and leaping and over the rainbow for this new release.
Oh, yes,
Wow.
yes. Well, I want to make sure that I say something. Mr. Sue, your wife did a great job. You can be real proud of her. I hope you had a good nap while she was on and that you enjoy the replay. But, well, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're kind of jumping and leaping and over the rainbow about having you on tonight.
Yeah. Well,
And seeing you this summer.
yes. I'm looking forward to July and Paperganza and meeting a lot of people in person that I've only met over the, I don't know, do you call them airwaves or digitally, or I'm not quite sure how you
Fiber.
say this. Yeah, but virtually, I guess.
Cyber. Yeah.
Yeah, cyber.
Well, you know the routine. You watch the show almost every week.
Yeah.
Good one. Congratulations, you did great. We will see our members here in just a few minutes. Join us on Wednesday as I steal some art. And then next Friday, because we have Amy and her daughter. It's fun every week. Join us, we hope. Thank you so much, Sue. Thank you so much, Chatterbox, Mr. Producer. Well done. Let's call it a night until we start talking on the Zoom call. Thank you. Good night.
Nice.